What's up, everybody? Wait for everybody to get in here, then we'll get started. Uh, Hope you guys have been having a great week. I hadn't done a live in a long time. I've been swamped, just so busy. It's this time of the year where everything gets really, really complicated and a lot of stuff going on. But I'm on here now. Talk a little bit about some baits. Not a real long live stream, but just enough. I managed to get out this weekend. I've been bummed because I've been missing a lot of the crappie spawn. Now we're like in post spawn. I just have limited time to get out there and fish. But a couple things with this is, let me check something over here. Couple things that I learned was it's been the crappie fishing's been really good, but a lot of people have been having some trouble catching some really good ones, and it can do that from year to year. Plus, we've had some strange weather, but man, I went out a couple times and did use my little hair jigs. I was with a friend, so I wasn't recording, and I caught some, but I need to. I need to get out there and do some more. So maybe this weekend I might try it. But I've been having so much fun trying to go after bass. And you guys know that I'm a bank angler. And it's just the challenge. It's so rewarding just to get one fish. It's like the very first time I ever caught a fish when I was a little kid, that feeling. And you're patient, you're working baits, looking for patterns. And then when you catch them, it's just so awesome. So, I take a lot of pride in being a bank angler because that's how I raised, around up in Iowa is really when I got started. When my dad would take my cousins and my siblings out there, we'd go fishing, cane pole fishing. Hey, what's up, gnarly 20? But I'm going to talk to you guys about a couple of things. So I've been having a lot of fun throwing different stuff, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to turn the camera real quick on these lizards right here. So I've got different ones. Hopefully you can see those. Let me take a look here, and yeah, you can see them. So this one right here I got from Bacon's in Shreveport. Bacon's tackle, that world famous tackle. This one right here is a Cream Lures lizard. This one's in black. This one's black. This one is dirt purple from Yum Baits. This one here, I'm trying to use this red because it'll a little bit easier to see. I don't know. I've never done this before, so we'll check it out. And then look at this fat guy. This is another one from Yum. This one, I don't know where I got this guy from. It was in either my Monster Bass subscription, or I got that when around Christmas when I got a couple of those subscription boxes as gifts from like Mystery Tackle Box. So this guy, now this one I crushed a few fish on. This one I've come close, had a bite and I lost him. And this one back before, not even the right time to throw it, but over the winter, because here it's mild, I caught one on this guy. But so these are the ones that I've been taking a look at to throw. So, or I have been throwing, and I've been having a lot of fun with them. So if you're looking to get into creature baits or worms or soft plastics like this, the little creature ones, what did I say, worms? They're also real fun to throw. It's similar type setup, but these, we call them lizards, but really they're to mimic salamanders, because when salamanders are in their larvae stage, they're a water dog crawling around down there, and they can get pretty decent in size. And then of course they turn into salamanders, but we just call them lizard baits or creature baits. But I have a lot of fun throwing these. So if you've never thrown them, just rig it, Texas style, weedless, pitch it around. Sometimes I'll peg it with a weight, and other times I'll just have a little split shot about a foot up the line, Another way is to Carolina rig it and just drag it along the bottom. But these are a lot of fun to fish. And if you're with somebody that's new, that's learning how to fish, put this on, or a Senko, or just like a little floating worm, Texas rig style, and fire that out there. All right, let's get back in the stand here. There you go. Hey, thanks for being patient with me when I was showing you those. But easy to rig. I've been having these marinate in Procure, and this dirt purple right here is just phenomenal. And these cream ones too. Don't fall asleep on cream, man. They put out some good products. And this one I had a Bass Crush. This one, I think I have a video of that from a couple weeks ago. Now look at this guy. I got this from Bacon's, and they pour their own. But look how small the appendages are on there. It's probably more accurate what a real water dog looks like, but it's a little bit more stiff compared to like the Yums or that cream. See, their appendages are real floaty like that, or real mobile, I guess, dance around. Even this kind of blue and purple one, this color right here is just absolutely phenomenal. This plum color. All right, let me get these out of the way. So my little idea to put it on a red background actually worked. Okay, the other thing I've been throwing is some square bills, and this one's all banged up. So I threw this one quite a bit this weekend in that one spot, that flat out there where it was real shallow, where I did my intro. Man, it looked good. And all those little shad that were spawning were banging into rocks, flipping around. So this guy, I just could not get a bite on it. And this in this apple craw color, this is a Bomber Square A. And you know, I love throwing my bombers. And then I moved into throwing some different ones. I don't have the shad colored XPS, but I got these at Bass Pro. They're dinky. They're like 2 inches and 5/16, something like that. I bought a bunch, and I go back there and check. Now they have all these crummy, weird, like a metallic blue. But this little guy right here, and then the shad color, those are great to throw. And then I was throwing along the weed line. This was this weekend, before the wind got really crazy. I had some spots where I had shallow grass, and then there was like a clear area. So I was throwing this little Bagley, and then in one of my pictures I took, you could kind of see that. I don't believe I've ever told anybody here. I'm such a noob with social media sometimes, but Pinhook Fishing Club on Instagram, all one word. So I threw and I posted some pictures on there, but this Bagley took a dent right here in the side there. That was from one that I lost. How do you lose a fish with these trebles? And these are good trebles. So I threw this around. It's a little flat side. It was Sunny Bee, little balsa bait from Bagley's up out of Wisconsin. You can go to Northland Tackle, and you can see that they've got the baits listed there. I think right now those are like $4.99. They're steel. And this guy right here is a Berkley Click-In Fritzside, and this one's got a unique sound to it. Wait a minute, is this one a silent one? Yep, this one's silent. I do have a silent one, and then I do have one of these that does click. But these are phenomenal to throw also. It's a little craw-colored, flat-sided bait. And then I've been throwing the 6 Sense, what is this, the Curve 55 or something like that. Man, this little guy just bangs in and around the rocks, a little square bill. So I got a ton of 6 Sense. And man, the plastic on that is just super, super tough. I got a whole bunch of those 6 Sense lures. All right, now this one, I haven't caught a fish on it yet, and I've had so much fun throwing it. I was upset because Blake, my buddy that's out there that paints these, he's got his little DC on there for dark Corner Custom Crankbaits. He painted a whole bunch of these for me. These are Bomber 6As that were just wrecked. And I had a one that's like a shad color, and it got hung up. And maybe this weekend, I know exactly where it was hung up, and it's just straight down right below me. And it's kind of weird where I was fishing, there's like a straight drop off. Maybe I can see it down there and rescue it. The first one he ever did's on the wall back there where I caught that big striper. I retired that one. But I love this color, the chartreuse with the purple. Now these are all one continuous piece of plastic. It may be seamed in there somewhere, but these are from Bomber. And these were in such bad shape. So I sent them to him, and I told him the paint scheme that I wanted, and he got it all set up on there. But these are all dinged up and dented, you know, and he did his best to smooth them out, and he did a great job. And these are Vector hooks. So I sent him the lures without any hooks, and he always returns them to me with hooks. So he does a great job. But I need to catch something on this. I've got another purple one, then I've got another one that's black. So probably in the fall, I'll send him a whole new batch to paint just like these. And he does some craw colored ones too. All right, the other one is I threw, and I had so much fun throwing this. I didn't catch anything on it, but it's already banged up. Is this Bomber 24A in this PBO color. So it's got the black back, the orange belly, and this one will dive down pretty good. It's got a stout bill. It's already banged up a little. But man, I had so much. This thing in the water just twitches so good. And when it twitches and it turns to the side a little bit, you get that flash down there. So if you've never thrown a Bomber 24A, look at that, just 2 hooks. It's gonna dive deep. You gotta try one of these. They're so much fun to throw. And here's another one that Blake did for me. This is a Smithwick Rogue that was just all beat up, and it was just a mess. I put a little, some weighted tape on there to kind of slow the sink up a little bit. I've been tinkering with it a little bit. So it'll ride high like this. So now it'll sit a little bit lower, but this is a floater. And look at the paint job he did on this. Little chartreuse down there, the gut bag, the purple. Man, he did a great job. So I threw this one, and this one doesn't dive as deep as some of the other Smithwicks that I've got. This one's what, like 0 to 4 feet, or 2 to 6, something like that. But this one, when I was twitching into the water, when it would come up, the belly would show, the flash in there, man. And in that last video, I was throwing one of the other Smithwicks, and that catfish just hammered it. So when I'm popping it, then I just let it sit there, and it'll slow rise or just hang there, and that catfish just hammered it. And one of the trebles in there got all bent. So, and those are good hooks that come with it. I know people freak out, oh, you got to change the hooks when you get your lures. With some companies you do, but with Smithwick, the hooks are fine. Now I'm not tournament fishing, and maybe if you got money riding on it, you may get real picky about it. But the other one I threw was one of these 6 Sense Provokes. Man, these are fun to throw too. I don't throw too many other companies' jerk baits, but this one, it's got nice weight to it. All of them are castable. A lot of times you get criticism with Smithwick that you can't cast them. I cast them just fine. Yeah, sometimes they'll helicopter a little bit, but I think they did some changes in there to make them a little bit more castable. And then this guy, the Bomber, I can fire him out there. Now, he doesn't weigh a lot, but I didn't have any trouble getting it out there. But this guy right here, this nice body style, if I do venture into something else, it'll be more of the 6 Sense. I know there's pointers. You've got all kinds of different ones. You've got Visions. You've got mixed sticks. Probably the mixed stick is the other jerkbait I'd probably go to try out. All right, guys, look at this. How pathetic. I haven't made any progress on this. My goal was to get these done by the summer, and I've just been swamped. And then, of course, the weather's been great, so I've been trying to get out there to fish. Actually, let me restate that. The weather it's supposed to be great, but we had that one day when I was at the new spot, the wind was blowing like they're gusting 30 miles an hour the day that the tornadoes, ripped through the Midwest. They started out in our area just as thunderstorms, dark clouds, and as they kept moving to the northeast, then they really started to pick up that energy, and then all the tornadoes, went through the area. But uh, my prayers go out to those people that were affected. The rain that was up in Oklahoma helps some of my fishing holes here and up there. So I've got a tough decision to make. This weekend, am I going to try to go up to my little crappie spot where they had all the rain up there and hopefully the water's up in that creek? Or am I going to stay here and keep throwing different lures, trying to catch bass, which I've been having so much fun doing? And up on Lake Texoma, a lady that I work with, her husband, or has maybe a cousin or her dad, maybe. Anyway, they posted a picture of him with a massive smallmouth out of Lake Texoma, and that smallmouth has got to be one of the biggest ones ever pulled out of there, because there are smallmouth in there. They don't. I've never heard or seen anything about them getting bigger than like maybe 12, 14 inches. But this thing looked like it was every bit of 18 inches. Great fish. Anyway, so I got a decision to make, and then the next weekend, same thing. Am I gonna go crappie fishing, or am I gonna throw these around for some bass? I've been having fun just, testing the lures out and throwing different stuff. Um, just with like a lot of bass guys or fishing guys, we're tinkerers. I'm always tinkering with different things, uh, adjusting stuff. So it's got one of the things I got going for this weekend are my little hair jigs. I've been tinkering with those a little bit bigger ones, a little bit smaller ones, and I've been using different trailers on the sneaky underspin. And man, this weekend I had a bunch of hits on that little alewife, that little fat chubby one. Well, I went ahead and trimmed the head on that so it would sit flush up there. But that thing, I had a bunch. I could have caught at least five more because I kept feeling these thumps on there. They just weren't getting hooked. And it's not the hook that's on the sneaky underspin. It's just, if how the fish hit it. And I know they were stripers because there was a ton of them down in there. Or it could have been those. Actually, one of them I think might have been one of those drums. I've been catching a lot of drum lately, throwing that thing. All right, guys. There's nothing else really I wanted to go over. I do have the rattle trap hat. This is one that's signed by Chris Zaldane when I was at Lake Fork. But I just wanted to give you a rundown on some of the stuff, a little bit more detail on what I've been throwing, and some of the stuff that Blake's been painting for me. So TK Stanley's another great custom bait maker and painter and refurbisher. But I don't know if I showed you guys the before and after pictures or not when I first got these. These I got at a garage sale, and they were just wrecked. They were like a gray color, and they were all banged up, and it's still banged up in here. It's rough. I don't know if that'll pick that up. There's like little pits and stuff in there, but he painted it up there, and so this color right here, chartreuse down in the water, when you get to certain depths, looks like a bright white light bulb. And then of course the purple, the hue in there looks good too. And they see some variants of colors, but this right here is a great color to throw. All right, guys, the other one is this anything shad colored. Look at his little bug eyes right there. The other thing is, guys, I lost 4 lures, 2 jackhammers. One of them I just strapped on to test it out. I had a cream fluke on there about this long as a trailer, and I was throwing that in one of my good spots. And I don't know if I got hooked on somebody's line down there, but the jackhammer isn't completely weedless, but it comes through just about anything. And all of a sudden it was like I hit a brick wall. It just wouldn't move. So with all the rain, I tried to look down in there. I was poking around. I couldn't get it out of there. And then I lost one of the ones that Blake painted right in front of me, down, straight down, about 3 feet. Then at one of the other spots I went to, spot number two, there was a whole, it's like next to a marina, and there's a whole bunch of tires in the water, big tires, and they stuff them with foam, big tractor tires to make these, like the edge of the marina in case boats come in, they can bang against them or whatever. It's like a little jetty made of the tires. So I was pitching along there, and I had one of my Senkos with that little Lake Fork weighted wacky rig setup where you hook the hook through there. And I thought for sure there were bass hanging out underneath those tires. I made about 10 casts, nothing. I let it drift down. And then on one, I casted, and a gust of wind came, and my line bowed over one of the tires. And so when I went to reel in the bait, it was coming up over the tire, and then it got stuck on there. And I was trying to snap it up so it would come up, nothing. No matter what I did, I could not get it off the tire. I think because the tire was all scuffed up and the line got caught in like a little ridge in there. So I just tightened it down and just popped it through. And of course the line snapped, and I'm sure the the Yumdinger floated down. Then the other one, same spot, I was throwing a stealth blade, the clear blade jackhammer with a little chatter spike on there. And that one, I would run it right along the edge of the tires. So if the tires were sitting like this, like a whole row, I'd cast it in there, bing, and just run it along there, hoping fish would come out from underneath and hit it. I did that about 3 times. Same thing on the fourth one. And I would wait to make sure there wasn't any kind of a breeze. But sure enough, as soon as I casted, guess what? And so this one, the bait was heavy enough, it landed right next to the tires, but then I tried to quickly cinch down the line, but it was too late. It bowed over and got caught on the tires. Exact same thing happened. And I usually don't use any kind of foul language, but man, I was cussing up a storm. I was on this little fishing pier, and I was like, I got to get out of here. So then I went kind of to another spot. It was more windy, but I was fishing along the rocks there. And that's where I was throwing the Shadweek, the little bone-colored Booyah spinnerbait, and then the little craw that goes with it. I don't know how that thing didn't get crushed. I threw that thing a ton. Perfect presentation. It looks great. Nothing. So I know people have been catching nice bass and striper, and that's when I was on the actual Lake Texoma up there. I'm just checking that bill out. A little bit scuffed up from when I've been fishing it, but you know what? Doesn't bother me one bit. There you can kind of see it, with the paint's kind of coming up a little bit. But so I don't know. I'll have to make a decision if I'm going to have him. I got a bunch of other ones that he can repaint for me. I've got some fat freeze, some suspending fat freeze, probably 10 lures that he could paint like that for me. Get some good colors. Anyway, and he saved these. I had 2 of these Smithwicks that were just train wrecks. And so he saved them. Look at that. Professional paint color right there. And it's got a cool glisten in it. It's got the false eye. So when this is moving, like if we were in a room and I was moving this back and forth, you'd be looking right at that. Now, if you forced yourself to look up at here, you'd be looking at this, but naturally, your eyes would go right there to the false eye. And so when fish are down there and they see that, that's what they lock onto. So anyway, this one's got his on the bottom. But this Bomber 24A right here, man, this thing is so much fun to throw. I don't know how that one didn't get crushed. All right, and check it out. right here on the bottom. You can see where the hook's been rubbing from so much work in there. And a lot of it's for me too, from how I store it, but I like baits when they get scuffed up. So this little guy right here is phenomenal. I may buy a whole bunch of these 24As because they're almost to the point where they get rid of them. You don't see this color too often. And I may have Blake do a whole bunch of them in this color, then some with purple. So always keeping my eyes peeled at garage sales and on eBay. Sometimes people just got to unload their stuff and you can get some good deals on it. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Just wanted to jump on and do a quick live. I know I hadn't been doing very many, but they keep all my little statistics and things from YouTube is like, you need to go live, keep going live, which I do. So I don't mind doing it. It's kind of fun. But couple things for this week. I don't want to say homework, but it is kind of homework. For the next week and next 2 weeks, set the goal. If you're going to go crappie fishing, use little hair jigs. There's one. 2, throw some crankbaits. You pick your brand, but I can tell you right now, bombers are like $3.99 at LureNet, and they have the newer colors in there. So, or go to Northland Tackle out of Wisconsin. They got Bagleys for $4.99. They've got some fatties, some good looking ones. If you want to go to more like a little bit more expensive, high end, look at the eyes on that thing. Can you imagine that down in the water? You can go with 6 cents. And the other thing I want you to try to get in is throw some lipless crankbaits. Rattle traps are great. This is in that rattle trap style. And this guy has got a craw color. So I've got some other ones in like a shad color. This guy looks small, but it's heavy, heavy plastic and very castable. And last but not least, throw some jerk baits. I know guys that just fish nothing but jerk baits. That's how dialed in they're in. And you talk about me being a dedicated bank angler and love the challenge. The guys that I know that just throw jerk baits, think about that. That's it. That's all they throw. Just like my other buddy, all he throws are MEPs. And I almost decided to do that. But I have fun throwing different lures. But check this out. I thought about having a second channel where I would just fish with MEPs. And then a third channel where I would just fish with jerk baits. And then this channel, I would also post it on there. But look at this thing. These are fun to throw. So I'm going to have a lot of fun throwing those. I got little ones for trout when I'm up in Iowa this summer. If you want some of the little bit high-end ones, there's a whole bunch of companies that make jerk baits that are high-end and are very good, and some are expensive. And of course, Rapala has its huge line. Husky jerks, Shad Raps. I got a bunch of Shad Raps. But, and then of course, Bomber. Good stuff. All right, guys. So that's your homework for the next 2 weeks. Throw some of that stuff. Oh, and the lizards, the salamanders, pick up some of those. If you go to Walmart, sometimes you can find the packs of cream. They'll have a bucket on the bottom down there. Maybe because Cream is more of a southern company out of Tyler, Texas. You can get packs of them for $1.52. And you can get those stick baits, those Senko styles for $1.52. Yum, they sell those lizards and some of the other creature baits for $2.52. $2.52. So you can get out there and get some of those. All right, I got to get out of here. Hey, until next time, I will see you then. Bye-bye. Maybe not. Until next time, I will see you then. Bye-bye.